from Universal Ostrich Farms. I think she's on a phone call here. She's receiving confirmation that the CFIA believes that they should cull these birds before an official decision. So let's watch this, and then I'll just get everybody's quick comments on it.
You are expecting what the outcome is. Okay. Bye.
What was that?
We need to put CFIA exactly where they need to be put, in check. This organization feels that they are greater than the Supreme Court of Canada, that they are still positioning the birds and putting them in the position to be killed immediately. They are assuming they know the outcome of what the Supreme Court of Canada. So are they thinking they're better than Supreme Court, that they're going to for sure win? The Supreme Court has not decided what is happening. We are on a stay order, and yet I just get a phone call that they've got a whole bunch of birds herded in a little circle right in the kill pen, waiting. It's animal cruelty. It's anguish to the families. This is terrorism, and this is such disrespect to our Canadian government of justice that this company thinks they're better than the Supreme Court of Canada now.
Right. Amen.
Amen.
You know, though, Drea, and you and I were there, it was a real concern that they were going to begin the cull of the birds as quickly as possible, because they were racing that stay order. They were trying to beat the stay order.
Well, and that's the problem to begin with. Why were they even there in the first place when their lawyer, the farm's lawyer, made it very clear to the CFIA that this was the path that the farm was going to take? So you have this government agency above the law, thinks they're above the Supreme Court, that says, I don't care. I'm going to waste all of the taxpayers' dollars. I'm going to waste all of the resources on the RCMP, who should be out here busting drug labs that are making 10-year-olds leading cause of death in British Columbia, overdoses. I'm going to do all of that and bring all of that to this farm, terrorize in some ways the family, on hopefully this happens. It's horrible. I don't know if there's an emergency happening, so I'm just going to step out.
Okay, yeah. I'll go to the guys. You let me know.
It could be nothing. It could be something. But
it's the ostrich farm. There's always something happening. It's madness there. Guys, I think the CFIA recognizes something that we all recognize, and that is the courts in this country are completely captured by the left. They're activist courts that generally, despite the Constitution, the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, always side with the government. Very rarely do they do the right thing as decreed in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. I'll go to Chris first.
Yeah, this is the case broadly too, right? We have CFIA acting like this, captured government, like everything's captured. The police all act one way. I mean, it's really concerning. Like this is exposing, this specific issue is on the farm, but it's exposing much larger issues. The capture exists everywhere. And I think these dangers and this bureaucracy run amok is dangerous in any bureaucracy. It's going to come at you from some way. Right now, it's it's this farm and it's poultry, but it could be any other farm. Later, it could be who knows what, your pets, us.
Yeah.
So it's quite concerning.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, the outcome of a judicial proceeding. Oh, sorry.
Have to go. Something's going on.
Okay.
And they're telling me I need to go.
I've got it from here, Drea.
Bye.
Thank you. See you soon.
Uh-oh. I hope Chris makes it in time there. I think the outcome of the judicial proceeding should not depend on which judge you get. It should depend on the letter of the law and the judicial rules and the common law. It should not depend on the flavor of the judge you get. And unfortunately, that's how the system works. Your outcome totally depends on who you get. And I know that from cases here in Ottawa, when sometimes defense lawyers, I would overhear conversations when a client would get some certain judge and be like, they'd know already basically how the case may proceed. And it's very troubling that our judiciary is not where you can go before the court and have an outcome based on the facts and the law instead of maybe a reputation or something other. So that's extremely alarming. I'm very disturbed to hear about the developments on the ostrich farm. Every day we kind of have to hold our breath whenever something happens, because you never know if it's going to be a crisis, if now's the time. So I'm really worried about that. And you mentioned earlier the CFIA ombudsman. who I think you said was gotten rid of. Well, the parliamentary budget officer just said that the government's deficit spending is unsustainable. That's a crisis word, right? Unsustainable, meaning the country can't afford it. There is no money for this. And if you do it, you're going to put us underwater more than we already are. We're not going to have money to pay for the things we actually need. So this country's in crisis in multiple ways. This government is totally out of touch. Mark Carney is flying around the world, rubbing shoulders with Keir Starmer and other idiots about things like digital ID, when people here at home are starving and suffering, and we have government mobilizing to take out these birds when they should be looking for missing children at the border of Alberta and BC, and other things like Drea mentioned, the super labs. All of this stuff the government puts on the back burner to chase their political rivals, to do stupidity, to go and push forward global agendas that have no purpose that are good for Canadians other than controlling us and maybe putting us in jail for our speech. And one more thing, the veterinarian you mentioned earlier, we were talking about that, the vet that was on the farm possibly. I know the CFIA made careful mention of a vet in their statement saying the farm has not told us who their vet was. And I think that also goes to this, is that if any vet were to go to the farm and say something contrary to the CFIA's mantra, I presume that they would face some professional penalties, and that's the country we're in now.
Yeah, there's actually a vet who's in the supporter side, who's there all the time, and if I recall correctly, I think she's retired, and so that gives her sort of a little bit of benefit to speak out on this stuff, but she is still licensed. With her licensing body. So, I mean, she can't be any less of an expert than those people dragging the ostriches by their neck I see in the pen there.